Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds. Lawrence?
Welcome to Drinks on the House. My name is Zach Kowalski. With me, as always, my co-host, the pride of Pinckney, Kevin Allison.
Yeah, I'm here, and I made a specialized picture for the video that we put out last week.
You did it.
I did it. I did my job.
You did it just like 10 minutes ago, but I'm so
I know,
proud
right?
of you.
Just right under the wire.
With me also, he is the glue that holds this whole thing together, Andrew Hamill.
Hey guys, I am also here, and I did not do anything for this podcast. So,
Boo.
yes.
Whoa.
You're welcome, America.
We still love
Thanks, Trump.
Just
And
make
finally-
America great again in my small way.
By the way, I'm ready to use that phrase just at any given time now.
you. I think it's fair.
With all the thanks Obama jokes that went around, I'm just going to
Yeah.
switch it.
I think it's fair.
I'm just going
Couldn't
to
get
make
my
it
jar
so-
of mayonnaise open. Fucking
Thanks.
Trump.
Thanks, Trump.
I feel like opening a jar of mayonnaise would definitely be a contender for making America great again. So,
Right?
I agree. And finally, he is the producer / seducer. He's super producer Josh.
Hey.
did you make a picture for us today, Josh?
Quayons.
Sorry, Mr. Andy, I didn't finish my homework.
Oh, sad. All right, well, Kevin, you want to jump into it and introduce our first segment?
A weekly segment of our week in nerd. Yeah, I can start us off too. And I have been playing a lot of the new Call of Duty game, Infinite Warfare. I got it from GameFly, and there were so many people complaining about it, and it finally struck people. I think that Call of Duty doesn't change.
Yeah.
It finally struck people. They're like, "Oh God, this is the same game I've been playing."
Well, I think they're going to do the same thing Assassin's Creed did. Kept coming out every year, and they
Yeah.
finally just said, fuck it. You know, we're going to take a year off.
Yeah, I think
Really
that's
make
smart,
this one
too.
good.
I think that's smart because they were pumping it out like a Madden game, and Madden started sucking at one point too. I don't know if it ever recovered. I don't play
I don't know.
Madden
I haven't
that
played
much.
it in years.
But yeah, I've been playing a lot of that game. It's been real fun actually because I haven't played a Call of Duty in 5-6 years, so it's new to me. So things have changed, not that much. Still Call of Duty,
Yeah.
but it's
But
in
it has
space,
Jon
and
Snow
I
in
get
it.
to fly around. Well, the coolest part about this game is you get to fly around like Star Fox style and shoot down like starship destroyers and things like that.
Oh, that does sound
And-
interesting.
It's worth a rent for the single player, I think. I don't know about the multiplayer. I haven't played any multiplayer yet.
Is this
But-
Call of Duty in space?
Yeah, Call of Duty in space.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
So it's
making
like
sure.
Ronald Reagan's wet dream. Of like,
Correct.
The
Correct.
Star Wars
It's
program.
COD Ronald Reagan.
Okay.
That's what's happened. I also had the privilege of watching the UFC fight yesterday, and that was a hell of a card. It was a great night. They broke the attendance record at Madison Square Garden, and they broke the gate record at Madison Square Garden to I think almost 18 million.
Holy
Just
shit.
the people going, just the people going to the event. That doesn't include pay-per-view buys, and I imagine that's a ton of money too. And Conor McGregor ended up winning another title. He has two now at the same time, which is the first time in UFC history. And he has a title. He just won the title last night from a weight class above him.
Damn.
So he had enough PM to look at him and go, "I don't care that you outweigh me. I'm going to win this fight."
So UFC is just making all the money.
Yes, they've been making all the money. I think they just someone just sold the company to someone else, like the controlling shares switched, and it was like $4 billion. So it's a lot of money to own that. And my favorite part of the match though was Conor McGregor won in the second round, but midway through the first round, like he already knew he was going to win. He literally put both hands behind his back for like 5 seconds.
Wow.
Just
That's a
stare
real
at the other
dick
guy in the
move.
face. It is a dick move.
Well, he is
And
kind
I
of a
loved
dick.
every second of it. He is an asshole. He's a very good fighter, though. He's a lot like Mayweather in that respect. Mayweather's an incredible fighter, but he's a huge asshole.
Yeah, and I would probably parse the fact that Conor McGregor isn't like as domestic abusey as.
That's true. No, he's
That's
a much better person on that front.
Give it time, Andy.
Give it time.
Yeah, just
He's got a
wait
child
it.
coming. Maybe he'll go the way of Adrian Peterson.
Oh,
good.
that's good.
My
Oh,
last thing
God.
I've been doing was I've been playing Ape Escape 2. It was on sale, and I needed
Ooh.
something happy after the election. So I got Ape Escape because I wanted to run around and catch monkeys with nets because I thought that would be an incredible idea.
That's a game I've never played.
Oh my God, it's still on sale, I think, for PlayStation 4 right
really?
now at $5.
Okay.
I could not recommend it more.
Yeah, I've always heard good things.
It's so fun.
You go around and catch monkeys.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
Sounds
It's
fun.
a simple concept. It's a simple concept that doesn't sound as fun as it actually is.
Well, so I can get blitzed and play it.
Correct. You can absolutely get blitzed and play this.
Sounds good.
That was my week. Yeah.
So for my Week in Nerd, your weekly podcast recommendation is 90s Percentile. It is a show dedicated to 90s topics. Yeah, it's from the guys that do the Simpsons podcast, Worst Episode Ever. That'll probably be in another segment of Week in Nerd. I'll talk about later.
Great podcast.
This is their second podcast. And yeah, they just they had a bunch of their fans and users submit topics. So they choose them at random and then just talk about it. It's really funny. If you've ever listened to Worst Episode Ever, Jack and Dan have a good rapport. As for gaming, I got a stupid one for you this week. I played the game My Name is Mayo. Available for 99 cents. And if you want to pay 99 cents and get 2 platinum trophies out of it, this is your game. It is a literal
There you go.
game where all you do is tap a jar of mayonnaise. So you just hit X over and over and over.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
Yep. There are something like 40 bronze trophies and a platinum trophy.
Wow.
And it's cross-buy, so if you buy it on Vita or PlayStation 4, you get both games.
Nice.
So if you ever want to play or pay 99 cents and get 2 platinum trophies, this is right up your alley. But, they're self-aware with it. They know this is a stupid fucking game. And they have fun with it. So, you unlock outfits for your jar of mayonnaise. Yeah, it's a fun time. I mean, it took me
stunning.
a half hour to beat it.
Oh, you actually beat it? You didn't just press
Yeah.
X endlessly?
I think to get the final achievement, you have to press or tap the mayo 10,000 times.
Okay.
Yeah, it took me a half hour. I was just watching Netflix while I did it on my Vita.
So what's the ending to...
It is absolutely nothing.
There's no ending?
No, the final trophy is where do we go from here? And when I beat it, I actually tweeted to the studio. It was like, you just wanted to break people's X buttons, didn't you? It's like, yeah, kinda. I played a little bit more of Battlefield. The vehicle controls are horrible for the airplane controls. It's all inverted, like an old flight simulator.
Mm-hmm.
And I could not. My brain just wouldn't work. Yeah.
I actually prefer controls like that. Like Star Fox
Really?
controls. Yeah.
I can't play like that anymore.
You gotta just kind of get used to it.
I'm sure.
Yeah, but
I mean, I spent 20 minutes and kept crashing into a fucking mountain.
Oh.
So I just got frustrated and quit. So yeah. But still a great game. Recommend it. I'm having a lot of fun. There's something beautiful about crashing into a mountain in the Alps. So.
Majestic, even.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at the flames dance upon Everest.
I feel like this is the conversation that that German pilot from a couple of years ago had with a couple of his close family members that they should have taken a harder look at before something bad happened.
That has been my Week in Nerd.
That was a good week.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Yeah. So I started reading, it's kind of a biography of Richie Edwards from the Manic Street Preachers. And it's sort of just a reimagining of his life before he disappeared. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Manic Street Preachers they were like a Britpop band around the 90s. They're from Wales, and yeah, they're really, really good. And Richie was their rhythm guitarist slash lyricist for most of their albums before he went and disappeared. And yeah, he just had like a kind of interesting, aloof sort of life. And besides that, I rewatched Heavyweights for the first time in a couple years.
Yes.
That shit's on Netflix.
Awesome.
Go fucking watch it. That was amazing. Every time I see my roommate, or we always like give each other shit, and I started calling him a skinny wiener. So that was a good time. I also bought a couple new games. I thought Pokemon came out this week for the 3DS, Pokemon Sun and Moon. I think it's next week, but I ended up buying Severed for PS Vita.
That's a great game.
And okay, you've actually played it?
Yeah.
Okay. I probably like a few hours into it, and man, it plays a lot like Metroid. Like,
yeah,
a lot of backtracking. You get new abilities. You go back, and but it's like a first-person dungeon crawler, and it's a whole like touchscreen hack and slash element. It's really, really dark. I think it's like the saddest game I've ever fucking played, but it's really, really good.
Oh, I've heard of this game.
The same developers did Guacamelee.
I was gonna say Drinkbox Studios.
Drinkbox did it, yeah.
Yeah, and Severed is their newest one, and it just came out on 3DS. It's fucking excellent. Couldn't recommend it more. But it also is sad, so...
Yeah, I played it on the Vita.
Okay.
And it was really good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, bring your tissues. Also, I bought Freedom Wars the other day.
Great game.
When I couldn't find Pokemon. Yeah, haven't gotten around to playing it yet. I'm still stuck on World of Final Fantasy. But I did go into a few videos where people play through it, and just the whole concept sounds fucking awesome.
You'll sink a lot of time into it.
Yeah, I kind of hate the idea that a lot of people are calling it like a Monster Hunter clone.
I always enjoyed Monster Hunter. Thought it was a fun game. I have it for 3DS.
Yeah, I tried out the 3DS version as well, and the first way I got into Monster Hunter was Final Fantasy Explorers for the 3DS. And that was fucking really, really cool until 5 hours in, when you're doing the same shit over and over and over, and you're not getting new equipment. You're just, well, I mean, you do, but you gotta level up your class, and I don't know.
Well, that's the good thing about Freedom Wars.
Yeah.
You're constantly getting shit.
Yeah.
So I guess I got a couple new things. First off, there is a new split 7-inch from two bands that I've been super into over the past couple of years, and actually just got to see both of them a couple months ago for the first time. So Nails, which is kind of like a grindy death metal kind of power violence sort of amalgam, and then also Full of Hell, who are kind of like a grindcore death metal band that kind of sprung from the hardcore scene. They just released a new 7-inch together. I love both of these bands. They're super fun. Two bands that are very cognizant of the fact that heavy music should be played pretty fast, pretty nicely, and just sort of beat you in the face, and then you're done with it. Nails probably released one of my favorite albums of the year, probably my favorite metal album of the year. Their song on the 7-inch is a pretty good continuation of that. So if anyone's into that kind of music, I'd highly recommend it. I've also been re-listening a lot to the album Let It Be by The Replacements.
It's a great album.
Yeah, just one of the best, most underrated bands in rock and roll history. If you never had an opportunity to check that band out, they've just had such a massive influence on just every other band, or a lot of like indie rock bands that came out. I think that probably outside of like the Smiths, there's not a lot of bands from the 80s, or I should say like the Smiths and the Cure and a lot of those bands. There's very few people that have had sort of a wider range of influence, and still not a lot of people know about them. And then also today, I haven't gotten a chance to read it, but I just picked up the 6th hardcover issue of the Dark Knight 3, The Master Race, the Frank Miller Batman comic. So I'm pretty stoked to get to read that, even though it's been
Cool.
like 2 months since I've read an issue. So I'm gonna have to go back and reread the 5 other short issues.
Is that new release, or is that like a couple years old?
No, it's they just started it up this year. I don't know how long it's actually gonna run for, but it's kind of, it feels like it's moving pretty slow because I've only been buying the hardcover versions, and those come out like usually somewhere between like 2 weeks and a month behind when like an actual like paperback comes out. So
Okay.
yeah, so it's been moving really slow, which kind of sucks because I usually just buy trades because I hate having to like, I hate how choppy just buying single issues is.
Yeah.
So but I dig all the other Frank Miller Batman stuff, so I'm willing to give it a wait. It's kind of a slow build, but hopefully it pays off in the end.
Well, that's why I asked. I didn't know Frank Miller was back doing Batman.
Yeah, he's I supposedly this is the last. I believe what I heard was that it's kind of the end of like the Dark Knight saga.
Oh, okay.
But if you've read those books, it picks up right where those left off. So
Okay.
Definitely recommend it. I mean, all the Frank Miller Batman stuff's worth a read. So that's all I got, guys. I'm tapped out.
Good.
I just wanted to mention, since you're into like grind and stuff like that, did you know Head Wound City came out with a new album?
I heard about that. Yes. I never like dug too deep into them, but I was always a huge fan of the Yeah Yeah Yeahs and the Locust, and aren't one or two guys from the Blood Brothers in that too?
Yeah, there's 2 of them from Blood Brothers, and they
Okay.
and before they only had an EP out, and that came out like years ago, and
Yeah.
me and my brother used to listen to it all the time. We forgot about it, and then some random person just told me, oh yeah, Head Wound City, they're touring, and they just came out with like a new album. I was just like, what the fuck? Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, that all of the 3-1G stuff, all of like that was Justin Pearson from the Locust, like all of like the Locust kind of side bands, and a lot of like those
Like Holy Molar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all those associated acts came out on that label, and that was, the Locusts were kind of one of those bands that really fucked with my head at a young, like probably like too young of an age for me to like actually get what was going on, and kind of really changed my the trajectory of music I listened to.
I think that was the point.
Yeah, no, they definitely mission accomplished, guys.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished.
Well, that wraps up the Week in Nerd. So that means we go on to our
Insert
main
music.
topic. Our main topic. Insert music. Just start beatboxing our own
Yeah.
outro song.
No need for us to say insert music. Zach can just burp to cut up the different spots of the segment.
Denotes cut.
Yeah.
I think I would like to hear
Alright.
Zach burp a version of Rock Your Body by Justin Timberlake as
That would
like
be
a
ideal.
segue.
I'm gonna rock your body.
Oh,
That hurt my soul.
that was exactly
That hurt my
how I
soul
expected
for
it.
your soul.
Yeah.
It sounded like your soul snapped into a Slim Jim.
Oh no, that sound like this, man.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, snap into a Slim Jim.
You're not no man of my soul, Zach. How dare you?
Glad I could help.
Anyway,
All right, focus.
our segment for this podcast is basically 5 games. If you only had 5 games for the rest of your life, what 5 would they be? This means individual games. We talked about doing franchises, but we wanted to actually bring it down to individual games as well. And we've done a list like this in the past with bands, I think. It was bands.
Yep.
So it'll work pretty much the same way on that front. The only thing we're going to change up is we're going to each go through our lists all the way through, and then the next person will go, instead of doing like a round robin, we all say our 5th. Would anyone like to begin?
No.
No. Andy volunteers.
I
Andy
decline.
volunteers his
I
tribute.
decline.
Andy volunteers his tribute.
That's what you get for saying something.
Yeah.
You should have never spoken up.
Yeah, that was a real shit move on my part. This was actually like I did this like 2 hours ago because I thought it would be easy, and it took me slightly longer than I thought it would. I had to X out a couple of games, so well, I guess to start off my list, really it's like the top two are really the only two that are in sequential order, and then the other three are just kind of there because I like them.
Sure. Technically, you don't need an order for this list because you only get 5.
Well, start off.
Takes the pressure off.
Yeah. Oh God, so relieved. To start off, I have Mike Tyson's Punch Out for the NES.
Very good one.
Yeah, such a simple game, but I could still waste hours playing it, and it still is frustratingly hard for me at this point in time in my life, which is really embarrassing to say.
Oh, it's a difficult game.
Now, did you know? Did you know there is an arcade version of that game too? I played it at Pinball Pete's in Ann Arbor.
No
and
shit.
It is 3 times as hard as the NES version.
Yeah, I would.
You could get knocked out by Glass Joe.
That's fucked up.
I've had
That's
that happen.
not how life should be.
I didn't think it was how life worked. I narrowly escaped Glass Joe and then got demolished by the second guy.
The guy who drops his pants? Is that the second? Or is he the third?
That guy's a little bit later. Fucking King Hippo.
Yeah, that's King Hippo.
Yeah.
Has that weird tape across his belly button.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
it might be the mustachioed, like,
Yeah.
Czechoslovakian gentleman. It's like root beer.
No, it's
Oh my
Soda
God.
Popinski.
Yeah,
That's
Popinski. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what an ethnic name.
No, these are all all the characters are such like heavy stereotypes. It's awful.
Oh
It's
god, yeah.
super dated. Punch Out's characters did not age well.
Yeah.
Did you ever play Punch Out 2? The one where you're Mike Tyson in space fighting aliens?
No, I've never
Oh
heard
my
of
God,
this.
no.
Yeah, that was also on the NES.
That's amazing.
I think they took Mike Tyson's name out of it because like all like future releases of Mike Tyson's Punch Out were just like Punch Out, you know? Because Mike Tyson's a piece of shit and Nintendo didn't want anything to do with
I think
him.
you had to face the Dream instead of Mike Tyson, which was just like Mike
Yeah.
Tyson with a couple different facial features.
Yeah, exactly.
It's him with the, like
He
a weird
pretty-
like wizard's turban on or something.
Yeah.
Oh no, he was just like some white guy. He looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Like, he was very like generic. Like
I think they called
goofy
it.
dude.
Was it Sandman that you finished? No, he was before Tyson. Mr. Dream was the one.
So
that-
Mr. Dream is the one they replaced Tyson with.
Now moving on to number 4 or 3, whichever. God, they interchange. Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
I went back and played this with my brother like very, very recently, and still just as much fun as I remembered. Irritatingly like difficult to a point though for some reason.
It's a frustrating game.
It very much is, but it's so much fun. And I also think that like back in the day, that was probably the most fun like 2-player game I had encountered at that point in time.
Yeah. I know you and I played it a lot growing
Yes.
up.
I've poured hundreds of hours into that game, I feel like.
And it still holds up. It actually looks great for a SNES game.
Yeah, it does. Comparatively to a lot of the other stuff on that system, which was
Oh God.
there is a Batman Forever game that I rediscovered on there, and that is
the Mortal Kombat clone.
it's way worse than Mortal Kombat though. Like it's so
It's got like the control scheme of like Mortal Kombat.
Did you
somehow-
say Batman Returns?
no Batman Forever, the Val
Oh,
Kilmer
Forever.
movie.
The Val Kilmer, Jim Carrey piece.
Because I had a bone to pick with you if it was the Returns game, because I own that one. It's a beat 'em up and it's awesome.
No, that
No.
one's cool.
Could have
The
been.
Batman Forever game that I'm talking about, and that Josh was talking about too, is at least for me, it was like the least gamer friendly game I've ever played in my entire life. And there's points in time during it where like you're supposed to be in like a dark room, but like it's so poorly like shaded like that you can't fucking see anything that's like going on. Like it was It was awful. Anyway, getting back to Donkey Kong Country, not to talk about my hate for the Batman fucking Forever game. Love Donkey Kong Country and pretty much all of the ensuing sequels. I was deep into those. Number 3, Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo. I still think that's another game too that kind of, for a Mario game, is still fairly visually appealing. Number 2, GoldenEye. Still probably my favorite first-person shooter. Again, it graphically hasn't really aged well with time, but I still think that on a multiplayer level, I still love that game. I would take that over pretty much most other games that I've played at this point.
I think on a quick segue for that,
Sure.
there's a game that I just got, and I can't wait to play with more people, but I think it'd be really interesting, and it seems like it has that GoldenEye-esque vibe, where it's more of like you want to be together with people as opposed to, being really competitive with it. It's called Screen Cheat, and you literally, everyone's invisible. You have to look at each other's screens to kill them.
That sounds awesome.
And it looks so amazing. It takes away the biggest problem with games like that, where if you're all sitting on the same couch, you know where they are.
Yeah.
No, I was a notorious screen cheater.
Oh yeah,
Right.
I had a little brother, so yeah.
I was the little brother, so.
But yeah, I've been waiting to play that game. But I bet you'd enjoy that. I bet we'd all enjoy that game. Really,
Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
that'd be a fun game.
You know what, guys? I also want to take an opportunity right now while I'm talking about GoldenEye to talk about how much I hated Perfect Dark, because I feel like everyone, whenever I would talk about how much I like GoldenEye, would tell me that Perfect Dark was better.
And they're wrong.
I just wanted to smash their face when I was younger.
Yeah.
Well, I just had it hyped up so much. It's like, oh, same studio as GoldenEye. It's like an upgraded GoldenEye.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's fucking not.
No, it's not.
I'd say it's a good game. I feel like everything
is a good
Rare
game.
did was really, really good in the 90s.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say back in that era.
They had some sleeper hits, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I can't hate it, but I've also never met anyone that said it was better than GoldenEye, at least at the time. That's kind of bullshit. I call it bullshit on that.
No, there was definitely a contingent of people that, at least like, and the people that like me and Zach grew up with, there was like a huge backlash when Perfect Dark came out, and everyone would try and talk about how much better it was.
I can name
And-
2 friends that
Yeah.
Fuck
were.
those guys.
Call them out.
Yeah. No.
You know who you are.
Hulk Hogan, we coming for you.
Yeah. They know who they are, and they should be ashamed of themselves.
They know who they are, and they don't listen to this podcast.
Yeah,
They will never know your frustration.
I will force them to listen to this podcast
Yeah.
because I am still in
That's-
contact with those people.
That was painful but accurate, Josh. All right, and I guess to wrap up my list, and I'm sure this is going to fall on someone else's. Number 1, the original Super Smash Brothers.
No, it's a good one.
Oh, good pick.
Still to this day, I have never had more fun playing a video game, and I still play it very regularly. The guys that me and Zach were friends with in high school all end up inevitably getting together and drinking somewhere. We end up playing that game. Still have a lot of fun and get quite a bit more angry than we all used to when we were like 11 years old playing it.
Who'd
so.
imagine an alcohol-fueled 20-somethings playing Smash, getting angry?
Which should embarrass me,
Something.
but it doesn't. It doesn't.
It's all you, homie.
All right, no particular order. Shinobi 3.
Excellent pick.
It was one of my favorite games growing up. I had a Sega with Sonic 2 and Toe Jam and Earl 2. Super memorable. The second one, A Link to the Past from Super Nintendo. I don't really have to say much about it. I think everyone's
Right,
played
I mean-
it. It's been ported to just about every Nintendo system. It was the reason I bought my 3DS, because A Link Between Worlds came out, and that's pretty much a sequel to A Link to the Past. It's set in the same Hyrule, and it's got the same exact gameplay. Third game, Bravely Default. I know I've talked about this in the past, but like one of the best RPGs I've ever played, next to Chrono Trigger. It's got an excellent class system. It's got a huge overworld, amazing music, I've put in more hours in that game than I have done anything else. About like 90 or so hours, and I've beaten it twice. I know that doesn't really compare to Skyrim and Fallout sort of time, but still, it's what got me back into RPGs. It's sort of like a second coming of RPGs to me, at least. And
I just got into it.
yeah,
I just started. I'm like an hour in,
very cool.
so I haven't gotten anywhere, but I love it so far. I've been playing before I go to bed every night.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
For sure. The fourth one I got, Batman for the NES, based off of the original 80s Batman movie with Michael Keaton. This game is so fucking kick-ass. It's got one of the best soundtracks ever for an NES game. It blends the style close to like Ninja Gaiden and its like wall jumping mechanics. Batman also has like a set number of weapons that he uses. Like he's got his batarang, he's got like a bat gun, he's got like kind of like a super move where he just like flails a bunch of shit out in the screen and kills everything. It's super fucking hard. I've been playing it since I was like 5 years old when I got my NES, and I finally beat it last year a couple of times. And it's just a fucking amazing game. I couldn't recommend it enough for especially people who like NES like hard stuff, like just shit that kicks your ass and takes a while to beat.
Contra.
Oh, Contra's fucking easy compared to so many other games.
I don't think that's true. You're playing the wrong Contra.
No, if you want to play a hard Contra, you play Contra 3 Alien Wars. That game is impossible.
I beat that game in my sleep, fam. I owned it for Super Nintendo.
See, that's like the first two
Let's
Contra
talk
games.
Shattered Soldier.
Damn. I was gonna say Contra 4 is also like up there with like the hardest of the Contra games.
Yeah, 4 is pretty hard.
I think that was on the DS.
Yeah, it was. I own that one too.
The first two, I feel like I can beat any day of the week. Contra 3 came much later for me. I never owned it growing up. Last pick is Sunset Riders, the arcade cabinet. This one is kind of tricky because I wanted to kind of tweak the conditions of our lists, as to fit maybe another person stranded on the island with you. So I was stuck between, maybe something like Skyrim where I can play it forever, or some quick and fun game like where I could play it with somebody else, like Sunset Riders. I was even toying with the idea of like Cruisin' World, just because the ending is. I don't know if you guys have ever beaten Cruisin' World.
I have not.
I have not.
No.
Oh my god! So we've got this arcade in Seattle called Vidiot, where all the arcade machines are free, and they're all ROM machines.
Holy
so they have
shit.
Awesome space.
Yeah. So they have like 200, 300 games per cabinet, and also like the racing games are also free. The only thing you have to pay for drinks and pinball. So me and my friend used to go down there and play Cruisin' World like, a couple times a night, just get drunk, whatever. But the end of the game is it's so fucking funny. Like, so you reach the last stage, you beat it, your car gets mounted onto a rocket ship and flown to the moon. Your car lands there, UFOs show up and drop off a hot tub with like a couple of like bikini clad women and Bill Clinton. And he's just like, "Hey y'all," and he just says, "Don't forget." he says, "Don't inhale," and he gets sucked up into space. And I'm just like, "What the?"
That's amazing.
Yeah, no, and so it was either between that or like Turtles in Time, but I think Sunset Riders has it beat out, just for the simple, two-dimensional plane. It's a shooter. It's got amazing music. It's a Konami game. Everything is fucking polished in it.
Back when that meant something.
And yeah, and it's a really hard game too. You're gonna bust your ass trying to fucking beat this thing, but
Bringing up Turtles in Time makes me regret not putting that in my list.
What an awesome game that is.
Oh,
did you know there's
yeah.
a difference between bosses in the arcade version?
Oh, yeah.
I did know that. Yes.
Yeah.
I actually just learned the other week that they actually made another Turtles movie, like another Michael Bay Turtles movie. And the first one I saw in theaters, and I had such a bad panic attack. I like seriously almost fucking cried. Like, it was awful. I hated it.
I was gonna
can't
say I'm
believe
sorry
it.
for your experience.
Oh my god, it was like a date too.
Cool.
Yeah. So, anyways, I heard that there was another one that came out of the shadows, and they actually like responded to fan cry and put in Krang and put in Bebop and
In
Rocksteady.
Rocksteady.
Yeah. And I mean, this is the first time I fucking heard about it. I was like, oh my god! Like, even though it's like a Michael Bay movie, I was like, dude, like, I really want to see this now. And I don't know. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
I can see that.
I was pretty afraid of those movies. I haven't gone to see them yet.
Yeah,
I've
I-
always said the movies would be fine if there was no such thing as Ninja Turtles before it.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
I mean, there are points in the first one where it's very fun. There's some really funny moments.
Mhm.
All the acting is terrible. The story's terrible. They even changed who the Shredder was in the second one, which
Jesus
is
Christ.
annoying as fuck.
Shocker.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but like when I'm watching Back to the Future and then like Elizabeth Shue shows up in the second one, I'm like, come on, like that pisses me off. Like, don't do that to me.
No, I totally understand what you
Yeah,
mean.
no, it's understandable.
Okay.
Yeah, we feel your pain.
That reference just hit home because I was watching the John Mulaney stand-up special, The Comeback Kid,
Oh,
and he
it's a
was
great
talking
special.
about how the Back to the Future is like that. There's no way that you could possibly get that movie greenlit at this point in time, just because of the way that it would have to be pitched. Where so it just fit right into my brain.
His best friend is an old man, and he tries to fuck his mother.
Yeah, he's a disgraced nuclear physicist. What is he like his age? No, he's like somewhere between 40 and 80. We don't have to tell him. I apologize. I
That's
really
fine.
killed the flow of
It's
that.
it's a conversational podcast.
I can go. Yeah, I do. But yeah, my favorite fighting game series of all time though is Marvel vs. Capcom, and that's the game that I would pick if they were coming out with a new one, but they aren't.
Very cool.
Yep. My number 4, and I flip-flopped on this one a little bit because I wanted to put Mega Man X, one of those games, on here, but I couldn't not put this game on this list because I would play the holy crap out of it and I would be upset if it was gone, is Resident Evil 4.
Ooh.
I love Resident Evil 4. I've played it through at least 4 times.
I was gonna say that's not Mega Man in the slightest,
No,
but it is Capcom. It is Capcom at
it
its
is
best.
Capcom.
Yeah.
I like Capcom for the most part. I love the Resident Evil series. I've always been a big fan of it. And Resident Evil 4 was really like the time that it truly hit that new like action shooter-esque genre and kind of invented it. Like it did really well with it, or at least brought it into the public spotlight so that games like Dead Space got much more focus in the end, which all worked out for me.
The last one I played was Revelations on the 3DS. That was
Yeah.
excellent. It was
Oh
really,
yeah,
really
that
fun.
game's great. I have Revelations too. I can also confirm that game is excellent.
I keep hearing shitty reviews, but I loved the first one. Like graphically on the 3DS, it was one of the best looking games I've ever seen.
It is objectively better than. I don't know what the reviews said, but I thought it was a back, especially because the game I played before that was, or the last Resident Evil I played before that was Resident Evil 6, and oof,
Yeah.
it'd be hard pressed to do worse.
Yeah,
No
compared
bueno.
yeah, compared to the old school like actual survival aspect, I gotta say like yeah, Revelations and 4, like they stick to their guns and
They did a better job with the survival aspect of it as opposed to throwing it out the window and making it an action movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was like the Call of Duty of the Resident Evil series.
For PlayStation VR, they're coming out with the Resident Evil
7. It's
7, yeah.
It's not VR exclusive though.
Oh,
I
okay.
checked.
That's good. I'm
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
not gonna
Well,
buy that
I was
gimmicky shit.
upset if it was going to be only VR because
I've
wanna
heard
play
it's
it.
vomit-inducing on the VR.
Mm.
Yeah, just like fucks with your like motion sickness.
Yeah. Well, isn't it the seventh one supposed to be more like the original, like survival, like
Yeah.
spooky mansion
Yeah, they're
You
supposed to
know,
be getting back to the roots.
psychological sort of horror.
Yep. They're almost taking since PT never came out and got destroyed. They almost took that idea and went, you know what, we're gonna do it anyway. Just like there's another game coming out next year called Allison Road. That's literally just a successor to PT.
That's awesome.
And
Cool.
I'm super ready for that game. I wrote it down in my dream journal. My third one is another genre jump around. Go figure. Is my favorite player action game series and my favorite game from that series, which is Devil May Cry 3.
Cool.
Good pick.
I just love player action games. I've played just about any that I can get my grubby hands on. Even like the shittier knockoff ones. I'll play those no problem. I've played all of the God of War series, all of the Devil May Cry series.
Have you played Bayonetta?
I've played all Bayonetta. I have played all of the Ninja Gaiden series.
Oh, the newer Ninja Gaiden series? The 3D ones?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those ones are fucking tough.
Those are some of the hardest games I've ever played, and I seek out hard games.
Have you ever played Shinobi for PS2? Successor to the Genesis Shinobi games?
Right. I never played I played the Genesis ones, but I never played that one, no.
That one's right up there. It's not as hard as Ninja Gaiden, like the revamp or whatever, but it's
Ninja Gaiden Black, I think it was, and Sigma. Sigma was the re-release.
yeah, it's still tough as balls though. It's really tough.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
Player action games themselves tend to be a lot of tough. Like I played, I think I mentioned this before to you guys. Was played Fury a lot. I'm still trying to platinum it, and whoo, boy howdy, is that game difficult. It's just boss rush. It's just a boss rush player action game, and it's amazing.
Very
But yeah, Devil May Cry for sure. I have not beaten that game on Dante Must Die mode ever. I've beaten a couple other ones on that, but I need this game. This is the game I need.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 2 is another genre switch. Again, go figure. And I just picked the most recent WWE game, and this would literally just change by the year. Whenever we made this list, it would just be a WWE game because I can play WWE games for an entire year, no problem. I just have no issue with it, especially with the new one because the creation suite is so good, and they have such an extensive move list. You can literally make someone who was never in the game, and it'll look just like him. I have like a full roster of people that were just made.
So you have like a clone army of Kevin Alice's
No,
that are just like the
I don't need that.
top tier
There's
wrestlers.
only one me. There's only one me. I made him.
There's only one
I can
Kevin
clone
Alice.
him, though. I can clone him though. I have the power and the technology.
No, I got burned by 15, so I haven't played a WWE game
Play
since.
16. Play 16 at least.
Okay.
Because when I got burned by 15 too. Don't worry,
Everyone
the
got
burn is
burned by
still there.
15.
The burn is still there, but 16 does a really good job of bringing the reversal system into it, where you only have a set amount of reverses depending on your stat. So you can't just reverse all the time, every time. So you actually have to put in strategy.
Yeah.
And I think 17 worked even well. It worked even more towards that. It didn't get stellar reviews because there's still a lot of bugs with it because game developers don't like releasing finished games. We'll get into. I got a topic for that at some point. We'll get to that later.
Well,
Yeah.
especially for 2K.
That's a whole big rant. I don't want to open that can of worms on this podcast. I could rant for an hour on that garbage.
So quick question. I haven't been into wrestling for a long time. Since I think high school. Does this include all of like the wrestlers from WWF and all that stuff like up till now, or is it just sort of like newer?
Depends on who they can license.
Can they license Cool Carlito?
No.
Then I don't
They
care
have
about
to
this
go with
game.
them.
But you can make them.
You
You can make
them.
them.
But can you?
Can I play as Rob Van Dam?
Yes.
Yes,
There's
you
a
can,
version.
actually.
They have. Let's see here. They have guys like Goldberg, Sting, Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, I think they went WCW with this game.
Yeah, they did a lot of WCW guys. They have DDP, Bam Bam Bigelow.
Is the Raven? Is he available? Or
No.
Raven, I should say.
He's not in it, but I'm sure you can make it with the creation suite.
Yeah.
I mean, his finisher's super easy. Just give him a DDT and call it a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you have to have the perfect sleeveless shirt and cut off jean shorts to go with it. So,
Don't forget a flannel tied around your waist.
yeah, my bad.
And then just a little bit of a dad gut.
Yeah, a little bit.
So my last game, I was very in between because I wanted to pick one of the games from the series, but I didn't know which one to go with, and it's literally coming down to the wire right now. But I'm gonna go with a change up to the list that I made because I think it's a better call. Is Tales of Grace's F. I love the Tales series as an RPG series where it's the pull out like arena action battle as opposed to time honored turn-based system. And I think Tales does it really, really well. And Tales of Grace's F has a combat system that's incredible, where you kind of have to level up to get more combo points within the battle, as opposed to learning a ton of new moves. So you can just string more moves together as opposed to learning new ones without using the moves. And you learn new moves by using moves more.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah, it's a really, really good game. Actually, another thing that I really like about the Tales series is that it's multiplayer. In a battle, you can have your friends control other characters.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I think it's been like that for a while. I've never played any.
Vesperia.
Yeah,
or no, maybe before that.
I only really got a glimpse of one other Tales game, but it seemed so fucking cool. It almost sounded like Xenogears. Yeah, I think it was Xenogears. I think that was it.
Xenogears.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Xenogears. Yep,
So
I own that game.
yeah, so that it kind of reminded me of that game where 2D set like fighting style, like whenever you get into battle, you get combos and multiple party members and yeah, and it also reminded me of like Secret of Mana and stuff like that, where you can have a second player in during this RPG, and that's fucking awesome. I've always wanted to check out the Tales series just because of that.
Absolutely do that if you get a chance because it's amazing. The first ever Tales game on the computer was released, so you can get it on Steam now too. I think it's pretty cheap too. It didn't get super favorable reviews, but I thought it was still a great game.
I feel like the Tales games are always going to be sort of like hidden gems.
They're still going to be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if, because I think they're at such a high standard now because they do so well in reviews that even if it's like a middling game, even if it's kind of middling, they're going to get that and they're not going to get very good reviews.
Yeah.
Just because they expect so much from the series. And the new one comes out in March, I think. And I am super ready because I think it's the first time in a while that you're like your main protagonist is a woman. I think that's the first time in a while.
Cool.
But yeah, that's my list. I again, as much diversity as I could on that list was genre.
Yeah, that's a good list. Yeah, you got.
Yeah.
I mean, the way I thought about staying on an island is like I gotta have something from every genre. I didn't necessarily mean it for to be like different systems, but I'm just like I gotta have some action games. I gotta have some RPGs. I gotta have some multiplayer games. Like those are good picks, like for sure. Especially like the WWE. Like seems like
those are
one of the
fun
best
multiplayer games.
Yeah,
those are super fun multiplayer games. And with Tales, you can do it 1-player, or 2-player, or 4-player.
I went definitely the opposite of everybody. I went quantity over everything. So my list should come as no surprise of anyone. Starting with number 5, I did Super Mario World, same as Andy. It's my favorite of the classic Mario games. There's so many secrets in that damn game. I still haven't even figured out some of the secret worlds. So this is a game you could sit down and just fucking hammer it out.
Or get hammered while doing it.
Exactly.
Have you tried to track down like a Game Informer from like 25 years ago to like help you like figure out what the fuck's going on?
I own that Game Informer.
I also own the book How to Win at Nintendo Games. You can maybe borrow that.
I've seen that before.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
So yeah, nothing nowhere needs to be said about Mario World. Fucking amazing.
Oh, it's fucking classic, dude. Like
Yeah.
Yoshi.
Yeah, you get
First
Yoshi. You got the cape.
Yes.
Yup. Like super upgrade to the tail.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Although you can't turn into a statue,
That's true.
and you don't get the Goomba shoe.
I thought that was in Super Mario World.
That was in 3.
Was that 3?
That
Yeah.
was 3, and then
Yeah.
you don't get. I'm sorry, I'm just like shitting all over Super Mario World. I think 3 is so
Here's
much better.
why your pick is wrong.
It's all the
It
power
was a
ups.
great
Dude.
pick
You
besides
can't-
all of these inherent flaws.
So coming in at number 4, Skyrim. I mean, what more needs to be said? It's fucking Skyrim.
Yeah, you don't need to say that much about it.
Yeah, I'm playing through the special edition on PS4. It's more fucking Skyrim. It looks nearly identical to the PS3 version. I mean, I haven't noticed a difference, but I'm loving the hell out of it, and I think that's the ultimate testament to a game, because I can just sit down and pour hours and hours and hours into that game, and I have.
There you go.
Good time.
I think between the PS3 and the PS4 version, I have spent 200 plus hours in that world, and I still have not done everything. I still have secrets I haven't done. I still haven't found all the Daedric artifacts. I have a lifetime to play that.
I just want to play
Yeah,
that
really.
someday. I got a free copy of it like over a year ago, and I've just put 15 minutes into it. I'm like, this is intimidating. Like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I've got a life. I've got a girlfriend. Like, I have a job. I don't know if I'm ready to give all of this up yet.
I don't think I can give all this up for one game.
Like, I want to. Like,
you should.
I'll start paying rent in the world of Skyrim, you know.
In
But,
Septums.
yeah.
So number 3, Infamous 2 on the PS3. I don't know if any of you guys played it.
I played the first one. It was really, really cool.
Yeah.
I really
The
liked
second one's
story.
even better. It improves on the first one. It's set in fictional New Orleans called New Marais. And I really love the choice system in that game, because I love that you can just play as a total villain or, a total hero.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can raise your stats either as being infamous or
Yeah.
being sort of a hero, right?
And being a hero.
And you get-
Exactly.
And don't you get stats and special abilities by, like your popularity or your
You do
infamy?
indeed.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like, if you're evil, you can
You get like
drain enemies.
You get like Sith powers.
Exactly. No, it's
Basically.
fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's all about, like, causing the most damage, and, like, you can drain people's life forces
Oh wow.
and replenish your power. And then as a hero, you can, it's more non-lethal powers, so, like, you can trap people down.
Yeah, you're not gonna act a fool.
Yeah, exactly. So I love the plot of that game. I love the setting. It's one of the few games, besides My Name is Mayo, that I've platinumed. I platinumed the entire Infamous series, so I'm a huge fan of it.
Is there any sort of condiment tie-in to the Infamous series?
Yeah, what is that guy?
I'm not aware. I know he drinks beer.
Assume the blood of his
Yeah.
enemies.
Yeah.
Isn't that the dude from Infamous, like the original game? Isn't that his son that's in the second one?
No, it's
Or-
the same guy.
Oh, it's the same guy.
Same
Okay.
guy. Cole McGrath.
Okay, for some reason I played through it, or I saw my friend play through it. Played a little bit of it.
Mm.
I thought he died at the end, but maybe that was a different ending.
Infamous 2. If you
Okay.
go with the hero spoilers for like a fucking 10-year-old game.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, if you go with the good ending, he dies, sacrifices himself.
Right.
Or if you go with the evil ending,
Takes
you
a
become the
little-
new huge villain.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. All right, coming at number 2, Fallout New Vegas. My favorite of the Fallout series, just because of the aesthetic. It's set in a post-apocalyptic Las Vegas, and the soundtrack is probably my favorite game soundtrack of all time. You got all these old-timey, like, Vegas acts, and, like, silly cowboy songs that I've played at the bar that everybody hates. But yeah, that's another game I probably pumped another 100 not years, hours into. I'm immortal, guys. But yeah, for that game, it's all about aesthetic for me, and I love the Fallout series. So my final choice is another open world RPG. That's Witcher 3. Never played any other of the games in the Witcher series, but this game, goddamn, it's like Skyrim on steroids. There is so fucking much to do in this game. It's another game I pumped, 100 plus hours into. You can clearly see what I like to do. I just throw on a
Walk
podcast.
around virtual worlds and forget things are happening.
Basically. Yeah, throw on
Yeah.
a podcast and, sit and play for a few hours. But yeah, I love the combat system. It's a third person.
Is it kind of like Dark Souls in a bit? In a
Very,
way?
it's very similar. It's not as hard.
Okay.
But you're using magic and a sword.
Mhm.
And you're a witcher, so you fight monsters.
Nice.
And that's your job, is you purge the world of monsters.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's an awesome game. The world is so well built. Like, even the NPCs, they have lives even when you're not there. So you'll, like, come back to a village, and, like, things will have changed. Somebody's died.
Wow.
And you can lose out on quests because of that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know if you guys remember when Fable came out, but I feel like they tried to accomplish the same sort of idea, where
Mhm.
like if you planted a tree, over time it would grow. If you came back to it, real world, real time sort of situations That actually
Yeah.
sounds really cool.
Kind of similar thing.
Yeah.
Or like, you can just be riding your horse down a trail, and if you don't stop for like, a guy with a little explanation point over his head, you just ride past him, you'll just say a quest failed.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it's a world you can truly lose yourself in.
That's pretty crazy.
So that's my top 5 list.
That'll wrap it.
So
I
what have we
guess.
learned today, guys?
What have we learned?
What have we learned today?
We've learned that Andy won't go past the N64.
That's correct. I was gonna say something similar, that I have again relearned that my knowledge of video games is that of a small child in comparison to the three of you. It is.
It stops at 2001.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
Andy, if you were to go in any direction besides the N64, go for the fucking 3DS.
Yeah, I agree with
That
that.
is what
I
got me.
think
out
you
of-
would be more comfortable on the 3DS.
Whenever I play a modern video game, I would have to go that route of downloading like old shit, just because whenever I play like a modern video game that's not like sports related in some way, I honestly feel like a small child trying to do calculus. Like I almost feel fucking embarrassed trying to play those games. Like it's just like I know it's something that there's like an 8-year-old kid like somewhere in like fucking Iowa that's just like killing it in the game, and then like I as an adult can't piece it together, and that just frustrates me on a level.
But that 8-year-old
Yeah.
kid has literally limitless time to play
Yeah.
as much as he needs to.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a fact that I have lived as well. Yeah.
I could get into that. All right.
Yeah.
I might step into this new decade we've been living in for 6 years.
Just think, Andy, you could play Donkey Kong on the toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the dream when we were
That's the
8.
dream. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was that was my dream. Is when I was playing Super Nintendo, it was like I need to do this pooping. That is the dream.
Now, did any of you guys ever set up an elaborate mirror system? So you could watch yourself play games while you're sitting on the toilet?
Absolutely
No.
not.
My bathroom was always adjacent to the TV, so I just kept the door open while I was pooping and played from there.
Jeez, they invented a pause button for a reason. You monsters.
No one cares.
Is it like some prehistoric way of like streaming where you just set up like, this like mirror system like in Indiana Jones? And
No,
like,
that's exactly what it was. I set up like 5 or 6 mirrors in my basement,
and you
in
were
my
able.
parents' basement.
What were you playing?
Oh, shit.
What-
It was
what
N64 at that time, so it had to be either...
So your friends were like playing Smash in the living room. You're like, I've got to
Hang
go
on,
to the
guys.
bathroom.
No one look over here.
Yeah.
Don't look at me. All right, on that note, I think we should end this.
Oh, I kind of wanted to follow up with I don't even know who said it, but what did we learn today? I kind of want to end on that note before we
Okay, yeah.
close out and do our plugs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So what did you learn today, Josh?
Oh, fuck you. I don't know.
And that.
That's stunning.
I'll
Stunning and
go.
brave.
Okay, I learned that in a modern world where hypothetically we could be on a desert island, that that I would be just as alienated and lonely and misunderstood as I am right now.
So literally nothing would change.
Nothing would change except I would probably get a tan, but not really. I don't have that complexion, so
I would burn.
I would burn.
I would just get more oily. I have a very like mid, like moderate skin tone. Like I'm Italian, and I don't go either way. I just get darker, and then it's like I'm in a toaster, I get a little slight burn.
You're
Light
the human
toast.
piece of
Give
toast.
it the old 5 setting.
Yeah, exactly.
I learned that I have to play the Tales series.
Yes.
I've heard great
Yes,
things
you
about that.
They're on the Vita, I believe, or some of them.
I've looked at it, yeah.
They're on the.
I'm wait-
They're all on the PlayStation, or not all of them. Sorry. Some of them are on PS4. Most of them are on PS3.
I want to say Symphonia is on PlayStation, which would probably mean it was on Vita.
Symphonia is on the computer.
Oh, okay.
It's on Steam now.
Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Welcome to Drinks on the House.
I'm on my third.
Welcome back. Here's your special medal.
Did I platinum this podcast?
I think you
Yes.
did.
Okay.
I think you did.
Achievement unlocked.
That was the final trophy.
Okay.
Getting proven wrong in 5 seconds.
You've dealt with Josh. Achievement unlocked.
I learned that it's not just me who sits on a toilet and plays games.
Hell yeah.
So that's good.
Pooping is essential if you want to like do anything with your life and play games.
Yeah.
And,
In the modern
Yeah.
era, yeah.
Andy.
I don't know.
You've learned you
well,
regretted being friends with all of us.
No, still cool with it. I learned about
now.
3DS, which is dope, and now that I've learned about your guys' sexual proclivities over the past 2 previous weeks, I now know about your weird shitting habits. So
I'm sure you'll figure out new weird things about us every podcast.
yeah, this is like that, like the more you know segment. If it wasn't like it going like across like a rainbow, but it was like a
A
falling
river
star.
of shit.
A falling star, a meteor just hitting the earth.
It's the more you know, but if you don't want to know anything,
Yeah, it's just a rainbow, same graphic, and it just says "keep it to yourself."
Oh, you shouldn't have shared that. All right. From Drinks on the House, that'll do it for us. I am Zach Kowalski. You can find me on Twitter at Zach Kowalski.
I am Kevin Alice. You can find me on Twitter at Last Vindicator, and you can follow my video game streaming with my other buddies at Drankin' Buddies with an A, because drinking was taken.
Nice.
And that channel is on Twitch, and it is also Last Vindicator.
I'm Andy, and I don't have any social media presence, but in 2 months that won't matter because we will fall into some sort of post-apocalyptic dystopia. So
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you do want to contact Andy, write a message in the sky, and he might see it.
yeah,
If you want to
Or-
see Andy, if you want to see Andy's face, visit www.pornhub.com/Andy.
yeah.
It'll bring you right
Or-
there. It'll show you more than you need to know.
Andy
You know
Stank.
how like people keep PO boxes? Like I keep like a locker at a bus station. So if you guys want to drop letters in my locker at a bus station, hit me up and I'll give you details. Jack Cowboy.
Befuddled producer.
Hey, I'm Josh. I also don't have any social media presence. I am just a person in the world. Don't send me anything. I don't want the deets. But
Send him cat videos in the mail on VHS.
sending what?
Send you cat videos in the mail on VHS.
People have cat videos on VHS.
Probably.
Sure they do.
I would take them.
Cat
That's
mixtape.
nice. I like cats. That's
you just get a fucking VHS in the mail, and it's just got those crappy like record your own sticker on it. It just says "Cat Fail Videos Volume 1."
Care of Drinks on the House.
I'm very humble. I appreciate any sort of like form of affection, even if it's crappy homemade videos of cats.
Yeah, please send us
So,
your crappy homemade videos.
If
Please.
you have cute shit, I'll look at it. Besides that, yeah, keep listening to our podcast, man.
Yeah. And please follow this podcast at Drinks on the Hoose, because house was taken. And send us an email at drinksonthehouse.com.
It's actually drink on the house.
Yeah, excuse
On
me.
the house
at
at
Gmail.
gmail.com.
Drinkonthehouse@gmail.com.
I also put this on SoundCloud now, so we
Oh,
are
really?
expanding it. Yep, I did it before we started, so we are on SoundCloud now, so you can follow us on there as well. It's basically just go to SoundCloud and search Drinks on the House.
Okay.
I
Oh,
can get the URL somewhere.
And subscribe to our YouTube channel. We post all these on
Absolutely.
YouTube.
It helps us so much. Helps us so much. Anything, likes, comments, subscribes.
Yeah,
all of those
share us
help.
with your friends.
If you like us, share us with a friend. If you hate us, just share it with an enemy.
All right, for all of us that Drinks on the House, have a drink on us. Cheers.